Molly is on her way round to the OGA's Diamond Anniversary Party on the River Orwell. In a previous leg we moved up from Gosport to Eastbourne, and now we're moving on to the end of Kent. So watch on to follow our progress. This morning we're on leg 2 of the journey to Ipswich. So we've just left Eastbourne and we're heading for Dover. We've had a batch of quite windy and wet weather, and today is a relatively quiet day, but I don't think it's going to be a particularly sunny day. The wind is quite light and we're running away from those horrible clouds you can see behind us. But currently it's quite pleasant, and we're motoring along the shore, approaching Bexhill and Hastings, so it'd be quite nice to see those as we go by. And today I'm joined by some extra crew in the form of my father, so it's really nice to have him along for the ride today. Good to have you along, Dad. You enjoying the trip so far?
So far, excellent. I don't expect any change to that situation.
Yeah, well, I can't promise that the weather won't break.
But it's coming.
It is coming, I can see it behind you. Yeah.
But until such times, we sit here and enjoy what we got.
Absolutely.
And when we do, we'll take shelter.
So quite a few boats left Sovereign with us. They're all sailing along in the same direction. Some Dutch, some are going around to the east coast. You can see it's all going along. The tide's just turned, so we've lost the foul tide, making good way on motoring on a nice reach, 5 knots. We seem to have dodged the first shower. I can see another shower over there. It's gone quite sunny again now. We're having an absolutely lovely run down along the shore. You just see Bexhill there, and then after Bexhill is a lovely beach that we used to go to as kids, the Galley Hill. The Delaware Pavilion, looking very white against all that ominous clouds. Definitely raining inshore. Bexhill looking nice. The sun shining on Galley Hill. There's a old wooden shipwreck on the beach there at Galley Hill called the Amsterdam, which we used to be fascinated by, seeing it at low tide. You can clearly see the outline of it, or you used to be able to. We're approaching St Leonard's now. It's all getting a bit dim and dark. I can see quite a few rain showers inshore, but I think we're going to be ever so lucky to avoid that little lot. Still, you never know. Well, the rain's arrived just as we're starting to pass Hastings, which is a bit of a shame. See, St Leonard's there. About make out the pier, and then daylight in the distance disappearing into the murk. Maybe it'll pass. Well, the rain's passed through, brightened up a little bit. Little boat parade, still going east. No wind though. Still, at least it's stopped raining. See, there's plenty of rain around. Hastings behind us. Cliffs at Fairlight. Weather's brightened up, so spot a bunch. Tea and bacon sandwiches, and the auto helm is steering. So a little bit of wind now, and it's a reef, so we've gone quite nicely. Still got the engine, but riding nicely. Just see Dungeness now, and a long line of pylons. Over there somewhere is Rye. making good time. Less than 10 miles now from Dungeness Point. Another gaffer. Heading west. Under engine. Approaching Dungeness Head. Can't see it at first, it's very low lying. You just see these strange things sticking up out of the sea, which are actually the pylons. You just see at the end there the black and white striped lighthouse. The most obvious structure though, of course, is the nuclear power station, which is the first thing that you spot from a distance. Your hat at a very rakish angle.
Have I got it at a rakish angle? Oh gosh. I'll de-rake it shortly, since I've got a hand to spare.
About a mile off Dungeness now. You see the South Cardinal. And then inside that is the skinny lighthouse, which is the one that's working, and then to the left of that is the old lighthouse. Engines off now and we're actually sailing! Hooray! Haven't actually jibed. No. Now we're east of Dungeness. Although the Dover Straits are the narrowest point of the English Channel, the dividing line between the North Sea and the English Channel is in fact Dungeness Head, where the tide from the North Sea meets the tide from the Channel. That's the crossover point, so Molly is now sailing in the North Sea for the first time.
Heading towards the western entrance at the moment, so keep well clear of
rain again. We've just left Dover, continuing to head east, and going up into the River Stour to visit Sandwich, so up towards Ramsgate and then into the estuary. It's quite windy, but it's downwind, so we're jib only, and quite a bit of engine to punch a bit of foul tide. The little town of St Margaret's Bay, nestling under the cliffs of Dover. So the cliffs are coming to an end here. You can see there's some interesting sea caves there, so not very accessible. A lot of that cliff is undercut. I can see several places where that must have recently fallen in. Passing the town of Deal. So we're motoring towards Pegwell Bay now. Water's shelved up a bit, it's a bit shallower here. And you can see just off our starboard bow, that's Ramsgate, a ferry port. And between Ramsgate and us there are some sandbanks, so I'm navigating inside those. The countryside is rather low lying here, but the river makes its way in ahead and then loops back behind all this shingle stuff, so we'll be behind that bank when we're inside the river. So there's Ramsgate, there's to starboard, and passing the safe water mark, which is the entrance to the River Stour. You see the first three pairs of buoys weaving off. Very strange boats up here, peculiar looking catamaran. And a very strange boat. Wow, that's incredibly sheltered here. Probably a 4.6, 4.7 blowing out in the bay. A little bit choppy coming across the entrance. Now we're in down beneath these banks. We're sheltered for most of the wind. Very quiet. Just gently winding through the countryside. Sandwich is a town with a great deal of history. It was the landing place for Julius Caesar's invading fleet, an important Saxon town, and granted Cinque Ports status. There are many listed buildings from Saxon, Norman and medieval times. At one time it was a very important port, but the Wonsum Channel, which separated the Isle of Thanet from the rest of Kent, silted up. This prevented access for large vessels, and now the town is 5.5 miles upriver from the sea. Thanet is still an island though, as the very odd tides here prove. The ebb tide flows for much longer than the flood, and at high water the flood tide is still pushing strongly upstream. Thanks for watching, and look out for the next leg of Molly's meander round to Suffolk.